You were a little early on that one, Dad. We are live on YouTube. How's it going, everybody? My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jarebeard. Today's date is Sunday, July 28th, 2024. Thank you so much for stopping by and indulging me for the next hour. You probably saw Dad's hand waving. Um, do it again, Pop. There you go. Get that hand in there. So I'm joined off camera this week with Dad and Amy, who's over here on the couch. She's on her phone. She's waving, although you can't see it in the frame. But there's a lot to talk about this week. And yeah, so it's been a long week and kind of a rough week, which I was advised not to talk about anything court related until after the jury trial, which is why in last week's Sunday video update, I said, yeah, I don't know what my plans are for this week. I have no idea because I didn't want word to get out to be broadcast when my jury trial dates were. But now that it's all done, what? But it's done. It's done. It's over with. So yeah, I had two jury trial dates. Ouch, last week, and Crystal didn't show up for them, for neither one of them. I had one on Tuesday and one on Wednesday, and she didn't show up. Now, I don't know if she, take my glass off. I don't know if she was aware of the jury trial dates. It's not my responsibility to make sure that she's aware of the jury trial dates. I don't know what the excuse was, whether she was just not aware or she didn't have a ride there or what what the case, I don't know. I don't know and I don't care. If you're going to fabricate a story to the police and then falsify a police report, because now I can say that, even with greater confidence because she didn't show up. If you're going to go through all that trouble of fabricating a story, at least make sure you show up in court to defend yourself. Instead, you're just making yourself look more foolish and more idiotic. But now that the jury trial is over, the cases have both been dismissed. The no contact order is now null and void. So I can go back to living my life and enjoying my life the way I did before, prior to all this bullshit going on. What's that? Well, yeah, we got to get the yard clean still. We got some no trespassing signs up. I've got cameras on my house. I'm expecting more cameras this week. And I'm just not going to play games anymore with people. And my brother Jay thinks, oh, so you got those cameras for me, huh? Well, not specifically for you, but if your conscience is going to be your guide and you think that I got the camera specifically for you, then that should tell you something. Okay, but that should tell him something. If you think that those cameras on my house are specifically for you, then maybe you should modify your behavior. I got cameras, which Dad pointed out. Yes, it's for anybody. It's to have the extra security on my property. And it all goes right to my phone. I get the push notifications. If someone's on my property, my phone tells me. So, yeah, and if someone pulls into my driveway, I'm going to know who it is. All I got to do is look in the camera, and I'm going to see the whole yard. I can see all the way across the road. I can hear everything. Yes, if there's a deer out there, I can see it. I can watch thunderstorms coming in. Yeah, I can see and hear everything through that camera. There are built-in intercoms on those cameras. I can hear everything. Yeah, Dad says, well, I got to quit peeing in my front yard. Well, that would be a start. But I can see and hear everything through those cameras. Now, again, because I know that Jay and Crystal watch my videos, Jay, if you think that the cameras are specifically for you, then maybe you should modify your behavior and quit doing the shit you're doing. Better yet, stop being mixed up with her because she's dragging you down. And I've been trying to tell you this for months. Dad has been trying to tell you this for months. But of course, according to you, Dad's dead to you until you need a favor. And Amy's even been trying to tell him, just get rid of her. She's bad news. She's dragging you down. But you don't want to listen. So if you think the cameras are specifically for you and that thing you're with, then maybe you should modify your behavior and stop letting your guilty conscience be your guide, because the cameras are actually for everybody. I got to have security on my property. It's sad that I live in a time when I have to have surveillance put on my house because I can't trust people anymore. I've lived in this house for 26 years. We've had people steal from us before, but I've lived in this house for 26 years. I've lived here since I was 11 years old. I never thought I would have to invest in a surveillance system for my home. I thought that I could trust people enough, especially family, not to fucking steal from me and to rob us blind. I thought I could trust you to not do that, but apparently I can't. But in any event, I have more cameras coming this week. The more, the better, in my opinion. I got to have eyes on my property. I have to have eyes on my house at all times, because I cannot take a chance. I can't take any more chances. I just can't afford to take the chances. But back to what I was saying about the jury trial. So, well, I have to keep an eye on, speaking of the cameras, I have to keep an eye out because I'm expecting a package today. Come on, load. Okay, there's no one out there. Went by. So I walk, because the jury trial for last week was on Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Dad and I were there shortly after 8. I walk in to the courtroom in front of Judge Clark. My lawyer appears. We sit down in the pew. I was the first one to be called up. I proceed with my lawyer. He stands up. I sit down in the chair next to him. She did not appear. And my lawyer says, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Fuller, counsel representing Mr. Fuller, I would like to file a motion to dismiss. And Judge Clark says, motion to dismiss granted. So that was the first one that was thrown out. On Wednesday, the next trial date was at 1:30. We were there, shortly after 12 or 11? I can't remember. We were there early. The cop who was on call that day was subpoenaed into court on Wednesday to act on her behalf. Again, she didn't show up. And the cop who was not in his uniform, he actually had the day off and he was subpoenaed into court. He was pissed because Crystal didn't show up. I don't hate the police, but the fact that he was pissed at her is not my issue. If she doesn't show up, she doesn't fucking show up. And we couldn't proceed with the jury trial because she wasn't there. So, again, my attorney asked for permission to dismiss, and Judge Clark, once again, granted approval of the dismissal. So now that means that the arrest is no longer on my record, that the cases with her making the false accusations have been closed, demolished, destroyed, no more. The evidence has been destroyed, and I can go back to living my life. There's jealousy is a very ugly thing. It's a very ugly thing. And when you go to the extreme measures of having someone put in jail for something they didn't do, that speaks more about the person that you are. It says nothing about me, especially when you're not going to show up in court to defend yourself. That just, it makes you look more foolish than it makes me look in any kind of way. You can't get back at people legally. You cannot use the police department and the law as your personal playthings because you're jealous of somebody. You don't get to fucking do that. That is not only a waste of manpower and time, but it's a waste of resources. And that's why it's illegal to file a false police report. That's a felony. Now, if she would have showed up in court with the same fabricated story, she would have most likely been in trouble for perjury. Because perjury is the act of lying under oath. When you take an oath to tell the truth, when you're sworn in to tell the truth, you have to tell the truth. Lying is perjury. That's a felony. You can't do that. Was I nervous before the court dates? Yeah, absolutely. Of course, because I've never had to go through anything like this before. And I was nervous because, you know, I don't know who any of these people are. Well, but at the time, Dad, I mean, if that was you on trial, you would think and feel very differently, but it wasn't you, it was me. There's a line that you cross when you are using the system for payback because someone is living a life that you only wish you could live. You don't then get to use the system as payback for that. I am living my life today. I am back home with two people I love and care about very much. I'm happy to be home. I appreciate my brother Wayne letting me stay at his place in Saginaw for 2 months when I wasn't allowed to have any contact with her. I couldn't come back home as long as she was here. All the people who've chipped in to help and all the people who've been, you know, showing love and support for me, I appreciate it greatly. It does not go unnoticed. But people like Crystal Shepard have to stay the fuck away. They have to stay away. She's bad news. She's made a name for herself all over Chesaning. She's been kicked out of multiple businesses all over town. Her credibility is in the toilet. My brother Jay's getting mixed up with her. I don't know where they are. I don't care where she is. She's been evicted and she's been trespassed. And if I catch her on my property, she goes to jail automatically. And now we have the no trespassing signs out front, which makes it all the more official. Stay the fuck off my property. If I catch you out here, you're going to jail. Do I love my brother? He's my brother. He said some horrible things about me when all this was going on. Horrible things. He's still my brother. Do I hate him? No. Do I want anything to do with him? No. I don't care where he is. He's 44 years old. He's got to man up. But he's still my brother. He's mad at me because I put him in jail when he came at me one day. My niece Angel was here and she needed help with food. Okay. Uncle Jared can help you with that so you can feed the kids. That's what got that argument started. And then Jay came at me, and that's when I called the police, and he had a warrant for his arrest and he went to jail. And that's what got the whole thing started. You don't come at me on my own property. Now, for Crystal to fabricate everything, saying I shoved her to the ground and I threw my pepper spray at her and kicked dog shit at her and this, that, and the other, that is payback. because I put my brother in jail for coming at me. You don't get to fucking lie and make shit up, because eventually that's going to catch up to you. You don't get to do that. I mean, he's my brother, you know. What, Dad? Yes, I know it cost you a lot of money. I know, at least $1,000, if not $1,100. That's how much they've cost my dad, and Dad was issued a citation for $75 from the township because of all their shit that he refuses to come out here and to clean up. Dad and I have been doing all that work. I've been so incredibly busy this past week between cleaning up the yard outside versus doing work in the house, trying to get the dishes done, cooking supper. I've just been so extremely busy this past week. And of course, court. I've just been so incredibly busy with everything. I'm doing the work that he should be here doing himself. But as usual, we have to clean up after a grown ass man who refuses to grow the fuck up. He's 44 years old. I don't know what his problem is, other than I know he's stuck with someone who's not right for him. She's dragging him down because he's never had to live like this before. My dad has never had to evict anybody before. If that tells you anything, that was the first time that my dad has had to evict anybody. No, you didn't evict Jay. You evicted her. But Jay looks at it as, oh, if you throw her out, you throw me out. Well, that's your choice. But you're not going to come on my property and in my house being threatening and intimidating and disrespectful. You're not going to do that. You disrespect us and you're out the fucking door. I don't care if it's Dad's house. You're gone. We're not putting up with that anymore. When I was away from home, according to what I heard from Dad and Amy while I was away, it was pure hell around here. Pure hell. Now I'm back home and it's never going to happen again. We're not dealing with that. No one is going to be staying here anymore. We're done. Dad and I had this talk last night about, this idea of out of the kindness of our hearts. It's getting us into too much trouble because it seems like every single time we do something out of the kindness of our own hearts, it backfires. We end up paying for it in some way. I'm done paying for that. I'm done being Mr. Nice Guy. I can't do it no more. There's people out there I genuinely love, dearly love people. But then there are those who take advantage, and I'm not going to allow myself to be taken advantage of. Oh yeah, there's a lot of people out there who do it. And I'm sick and tired of always having it blowing up in our faces. You were going to say something, Amy?
I forgot now.
Oh. Well, and Pat's never coming back here again either. Well, you got to be, well, that should be a lesson to you, Dad. You got to, you cannot let people stay here no more. Well, they're gone.
It doesn't look that way, does it? Yep.
Yeah. So when people want to play games and drag me through the system or think they're going to have me put away for a long time, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. Just don't. Now I've got cameras on my house, and you know what? Those cameras do take pictures and they take video. And it all goes back to my phone. Everything you say, everything you do, I'm going to know about it when it's on my property.
And if I'm right, ain't they some mowing
That's
You can
that's
use 'em.
it's evidence.
Yeah.
So Jay, if you're watching this, I advise you not to bring her back on the fucking property. Because if you do, there's going to be trouble. I'm pushing it. If anything on my property is damaged, you're going to be held liable, and I'm going to know that you did it because it's going to all be on my phone. It's all going to be on camera. So my advice to you is don't, because you're going to pay. This isn't me using the system as my little plaything. This is me telling you you're not going to be disrespectful ever fucking again to me, Dad, or Amy. And don't you dare bring that bitch on my property again. Because she will go to jail. And I will push it right to the fucking end of the earth. She will go to jail. My neighbors are investing in a surveillance system. They've got cameras up on their house now. And there's neighbors down the road here who are asking me questions. My stepdad's asking me questions about the surveillance cameras that I have. They're solar powered. The batteries never die. And I have more coming. And for the money I paid for them, they work pretty fucking good for me. They are very satisfactorily decent. Those cameras are state of the art. They do everything except make grilled cheese sandwiches. But they do a really good job. And it shouldn't have ever come down to that. It shouldn't have ever come down to me having to invest in a surveillance system for my home. Because I should be able to fucking trust people. And apparently I can't do that anymore. I can't afford to let my guard down. What?
Hey,
What?
I'm glad you're home too.
Well, I'm glad I'm home.
Dad and I were lost without you.
I'm glad I'm back. We're getting our lives back together. We're getting back to,
I feel so much comfortable.
yeah. I mean, we're getting things back.
There are days where I had my edgy, but
Like yesterday.
I
Yeah.
may be the same way today.
Yesterday,
I do.
well, yesterday I think, yesterday is gone. It doesn't matter anymore. But I'm trying. My dad is 66 years old. Okay, I'm trying to maintain a home where he doesn't have to be afraid. He doesn't have to live in fear in his own home.
Or no one else.
Nobody else should have to. Yeah, nobody else should have to, but my dad, being a senior citizen, should not have to live in fear in his own home and be intimidated by his own kid. Fuck that. No, we're done with that. That ship has sailed. We're done. I'm over it. I'm doing everything I can to help my dad. Everything. And I've done more to help my dad than Jay would ever think. Jay's a taker. If he can get his hands on it, he'll take it. Yeah, even if it's not his, he'll take it. And my mom and dad didn't raise us kids to be thieves. They didn't raise us to be dishonest. They didn't raise us to be the kind of people who are childish and vindictive and trying to weasel our way through life. My parents raised us better than this. If my mom was alive and knew what the fuck was going on, she would have her head on a pike. Crystal's head would be on a fucking platter if Ma knew what was going on. If Ma knew what she did to me, putting me in jail for some shit I never did, my mom would have her fucking head on a platter. And she would be bitching at Jay left and right. Why the fuck would you allow your girlfriend to do this shit? But she would also probably be bitching at Dad too. Why are you allowing them to stay in your house?
You're the one that dropped the charges on Jay, so Jay
Yeah.
would be with your mom.
Right.
for the last-
Because when Jay came at me and I had his ass put in jail, and yeah, it went to court, and I said, look, I want to drop the charges because at that time, as Amy pointed out, Mom was dying, and I didn't want to cheat Jay out of his opportunity to have his final moments with our mother.
And then she turns around to this and doesn't drop the
And
fucking charges like she said.
yeah, and Mom's gone. But here's the thing too. Even if she did drop the charges, the prosecutor who represents the state of Michigan picked up the charges because it was the state of Michigan versus Jared Fuller. That's how it appeared. So she may have dropped the charges. She may have, but the state didn't. The prosecutor didn't, because the prosecutor works on behalf of the state. So when I got the notices in the mail from the Saginaw County Courthouse, they always said state of Michigan versus Jared Fuller because the prosecutor was working on behalf of the state and wanted to try me on the charges, which, by the way, it was a misdemeanor. That's why, that it wasn't a felony. It was a misdemeanor, but still, I could have, if I would have been found guilty on something, I could have done 93 days in jail. My bond would have been revoked. So I'm not out on bond anymore, which is a good thing. That's done. So yeah, a lot of things could have really gone awry if I was found guilty on something, but I didn't do it anyway. I didn't put my hands on her anyway. And the fact that she didn't show up, I mean, it just makes her look stupid. And yes, they dismissed the case, which most people, I'm surprised someone out there hasn't said, well, yeah, they dismissed the case. That's not the same thing as they found you not guilty. You're right about that. But she didn't necessarily show up to demonstrate guilt either.
That it was true.
I was the defendant. She was the plaintiff. They couldn't proceed if she wasn't there. That's why they threw it out, because she didn't show up. That's how the system works, man. I was there. If I wouldn't have showed up, I for sure would have went to jail. They would have put out a warrant for my arrest. But I showed up, nervous and all, and I was nervous. I wasn't so much nervous about her showing up. I was nervous about what the jury would have done, or the prosecutor, or even the judge. It's like, I don't want to be punished for something I didn't actually do. Because the thing is that when she filed the police report, the claim was such that I put my hands on her. And my lawyer was explaining what the law was, which I understood what he was explaining. Yes, I understand the general law on the books in Michigan. I understand the general law. You're describing the general law. I'm going by the claim in the police report that they're trying me on. And that's what I tried to explain to my lawyer. And we kind of went rounds with that. And I told him, I said, I understand what you're telling me, but you're describing the law. I'm going by the thing that I'm actually being tried on, the actual claim in the police report. That's what they're trying me on. Well, she didn't show up anyway. So they threw it out. They dismissed it. Because she knew she was wrong. Whether or not she had a way there, maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I don't know. I really don't care. But then Jay tries to hold Dad and Amy accountable because, well, you're not telling us everything that's going on and you're keeping our mail from us. Actually, no, we're not keeping your mail from you. Jay's mail still comes here. Crystal's doesn't, because she's been evicted. So, no, her mail does not come here anymore. And I did hear a car door slam. Let me see if someone's out there. Okay. Nope, nobody's out there. That's what I love about these cameras, man. I can see everything. I can see everything, and I can do a 360-degree panoramic view. Oh, I see my dad. I see Dad out there.
Say something to me. See how he reacts when you say something to him.
Yeah. A USPS truck went by earlier. It's like USPS, the post office on a Sunday. It was a mail truck.
Oh, packages.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
I don't know what my cameras are going to be coming in. My Genie cameras will probably come USPS, the ones from Walmart. And then my other two AOSU cameras will probably come either FedEx or Amazon Prime. Everybody told me I'd like Amazon Prime. I've taken a liking to it. There's a lot of cool stuff on there, a lot of cool shit.
I'm about ready to download it on my phone too.
Yeah, I got yep, I don't use an app, but yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. I have a feeling I'll be using it more often because
The only thing is I went way overboard on Amazon when I had my Amazon.
yeah, it's addicting. That's what I've been told.
Wish and so's Temu.
Yeah.
That Wish gets me all the time.
But it's been a long week, and I've been itching to talk about everything going on, but I was advised by legal counsel that I couldn't say anything to anyone. I couldn't breathe a breath of anything until after the cases were over. Now the cases are over, and now I can confidently talk about what happened, and you know, and it's really hot outside. Yeah, I know. But I can confidently and openly talk about what happened, and everything's better now. It's much better now. And now I can get back to living my life and enjoying my home with Dad and Amy. And I tell you, I was gone for about 3 months, and it just drove me fucking nuts. Although I appreciate Wayne and Nora letting me stay at their house, I just had to be home. It wasn't home. You know, at home, that's where all my stuff is. This is where I belong. I belong here. Now, last week I took Dad and Amy to Golden Corral in Saginaw, and oh yeah, Dad took me there the first time, and I'm hooked. And yeah, and the thing I love about the Golden Corral being right where it is, it's right across the road from Guitar Center where I get my DMX lights. Which, by the way, I've been home over a month now, and I have not tinkered with my DMX lights once. That's what, if I start playing with them and just monkeying around, I know that's going to make the difference. It's going to feel much more like home because the DMX lights, you know, my lighting setup.
You could just see After Dark in there, having his good little strobe moment.
Oh yeah, it'll be a light show in there for sure. But it is great to be home again. And as I said, you know, I was advised by legal counsel I couldn't talk about anything until after the cases were done. And you know, it's been over a half hour in the show, and I haven't read off anything in chat. Chewing off my toenail, Dad left a couple of comments. Are you ready to hear him? He says, I'm an extremely lovable and accepting man of army green toenails. And then this is going to gross you out. I will use my genuinely sharp toenail to scoop out butter from the tub and smear it across my down home country biscuit. It's just fucked up. But thank you again, Toenail, for the funny comments. Yeah. And then I left a link in to the Fox Sunday Flashback, which is tonight at 7:00. The Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards on 103.9 The Fox. My buddy Reese is watching live. Well, hi Reese. My buddy Reese moved up north. He's not in the area anymore, and I miss him like crazy. Reese, I hope you're doing okay up there. And man, I just miss you. I'll have to plan a trip up to see you one of these days. I don't know when exactly, but a road trip. I'm due for a road trip, man. I just want to get in my car and just fucking take off. Yeah, now that my car is running good and I feel a lot more confident and feel a lot better about going places. And
Actually been invited to go with you.
yeah, yeah,
Kelly come out to me the other day and says, "Well, when Jared comes up, come on up."
yeah. Kelly wants me to bring you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, get away from Chesaning for a while, and I can keep an eye on things at home with my cameras. So I love you, Reese. I miss you. I hope you're doing okay up there. And yeah, keep because there's no Guitar Center where he's at now. But keep strumming away, man. Keep picking away at that guitar. And Dad says don't break any strings. And so for those of you who may have been a long-time subscriber of my channel, I got some videos of me and Reese, like when Reese was younger, and he built a fort in the woods, and he asked me to take video of it, and so I did, and I uploaded it to this channel. And Reese, I think you can still watch those videos. I never took them down. You can still watch them. Because somehow, I just think that somehow you'd want to, kind of reminisce on days gone by, and you might want to watch the videos again because you had your red Michael Jackson jacket, which also appears in the video. So I left those videos up. I also, I think it was a 2-part video, if memory serves. I think it was a 2-part video. And yeah, I just miss you, kid. I wish you didn't live so fucking far away, but it'll be a road trip that I'm gonna have to plan ahead. We missed the Davis reunion this year. I'm really pissed about that. It was on July 14th. Didn't even know it. I think Crystal had everything to do with that. We got the invitation and they intercepted our mail. I can't prove it, but they've accused us on more than enough occasions of withholding mail from them, which we don't. And Crystal even admitted that she's been holding things from Jay, keeping things from him. Just bad news, man. They're just bad news. Brother or no brother, he's fucking bad news. And the longer he stays with her, the more I want nothing to do with him because he's associated with garbage. Garbage. Jerry. Jerry who? Oh, God. Oh, God. No, not the R word. Not the R word. So, God, I don't even know if I want to talk about this because I think it's going to open a can of worms with the rest of my family, but it's public record. So I guess I could mention it because it's public record. So you're getting ahead of yourself. Just slow down. So I found out yesterday that my cousin Jerry Bearer will be going to prison for criminal sexual conduct. Now, I didn't know Jerry was like this. I had no idea that it would even cross his mind to do something like this, but it was brought to my attention yesterday, the day before. I think, it was the day before. I think. It was recent. Anyway, he had contact with a 14-year-old, and he's 40. He's looking to do some serious time. He's there's 2 counts against him. Each count carries a $100,000 bond. So that's $200,000. 10% of 200,000 is 20,000. No one's going to put up 20 grand for someone who rapes a child. And let's be frank, it's rape. When you penetrate a 14-year-old, which is disgusting as fuck, I don't even like to talk about it because it's gross. No one in their right mind is gonna put up that kind of money for that to defend someone who raped a child. No one's gonna do it unless they're really sick and just well off. Not the R word. Not the R word, Dad. But anyway, yeah. So that's what's going on with him. I don't ever want to see him again. Yeah. I mean, David is actually getting his life together. Yeah. David is getting his life together. I'm proud of him. My little cousin Chris, I take popsicles to him whenever I go up to St. Louis to visit. He calls me the Popsicle Man because he doesn't know my name is actually Jared or Jer Bear, and he calls me the Popsicle Man. Okay, I can live with that. I can live with that, Chris. That's fine. But my name is Jared. I'm your cousin. Your grandma and my mom were sisters. But yeah, that's what's going on. I don't associate with him anyway, but now that the cat's out of the bag and it's public record, I want nothing to do with him ever again. How could you do a thing like that? A million things would have to go wrong in a person's mind. But listen, a million things would have to go wrong in a person's mind to think that it would ever be acceptable to have sex with a minor, to penetrate a minor. There's something wrong with your fucking head. It would, I mean, there, and like Dad said, there's plenty of hookers out there. There's plenty of people out there who want it. Adults want it. You got to mess with a child? I want nothing to do with him. Destiny's pissed. Destiny's pissed. Yeah, I know. But his sister, my cousin Destiny, is pissed. She's disgusted. Which I'm right there with her. It's fucking just gross. It's unforgivable. But anyway, that's out there. It's public record. He's lodged in the Isabella County Jail. He's looking to do prison time. No, he's going. There is no if. He is going. But anyway, back to what I was saying, because Dad wanted to shift the subject of conversation onto something else that I actually wasn't planning on talking about. But back to the Jay and Crystal thing. Yes, he's always going to be my brother no matter what. I'm never going to be happy with the decisions he's made because he's 44 years old and he needs to get his shit together. He needs to stop associating with garbage and get his life on track. It seems like every woman he has ever been with has dragged him down in some way or another. Now he's fucking homeless again. He has nowhere to go. I can't take care of him. He stayed here with his girlfriend. She's already, DHS showed up here at my front door. I'm going to talk about this. DHS showed up here at our fucking front door because she lied on a government document saying that she had kids living with her and she was getting benefits for children who actually weren't living with her. DHS showed up at my front door. Because her daughter turned her in. Yes. She's bad fucking news. Wake up, bro. Wake up. Quit hating on little brother. Quit hating on Dad and quit hating on Amy and open your fucking eyes. Realize what you're getting yourself into and what you've got yourself into.
You know what I think? I think you're just talking
I think I am. I think I am. I'd have better luck talking to the wall or talking to my fucking dogs. Because even they understand, don't piss on the floor. I'm talking to another human being who just doesn't get it. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand why he won't wake up, make better life decisions, better life choices.
Because of the type of life that he had
Right.
before he went.
So you guys taking off?
Yeah, we gotta go meet them at the beach.
You're going to Reed Park? Okay. Dad and Amy, they are going to meet a friend of ours over at Reed Park. And I'll say what her name is. I don't care if Jay knows or not. Her name is Carly.
Bye, everybody.
Carly and Autumn. Yeah.
And Autumn's friend.
And Autumn's friend.
Autumn's always got a friend with her now.
Yeah. So have fun. I'm going to wait here, see if my cameras arrive. See if my cameras arrive and just kind of keep an eye on the property. That's why I'm kind of veering away from the live stream and well, get in and
okay. Everybody see my shirt? World's greatest farter. I mean father.
Yep, world's greatest farter. I mean father. My brother Wayne got him that shirt. When we were in Saginaw last week after we had to be in court. We stopped in at my brother Wayne's and yeah, Dad gave him that shirt, which is pretty cool. Sorry to be looking at my phone. I'm just keeping an eye on the property and seeing if the delivery guy shows up because I'm expecting another package and I want to make sure I get it. But I don't want to use I don't want to use this time to bash my brother. That's not what I plan to do this week. Do I love my brother? Yes. But I can't stand my brother. I can't stand him. And now that Mom's gone, I can love him from a distance. Just stay away from me. Don't come around here anymore. Come back long enough to get your shit and just take it down the road. I don't want to spend time with you. I don't want to be seen with you anymore. I just want you out of my life. I want you to go away and leave me alone. And the reason for that, like I said, is because of the choices he's made. When you're going to pick a woman, and mind you, they're not even married. They're not even married. But when you're going to pick your girl over your own family, that presents a problem. Now, I could see if they were married, that would be a different story, but they're just boyfriend and girlfriend. Even I mean, I don't have a track record with girlfriends, but if I did, I'm not going to fucking choose my woman over my family. If my woman is going to be disrespectful to my family, she's gone. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care how much I love her. I don't care if the sex is good. All righty. All right. I don't care. I don't care if the sex is good. Yeah, you can shut that off. I don't care if the sex is good. I don't care if her cooking is good. I don't care. She's gone. What, Dad? Okay. All right. All right. He had to interrupt me mid-sentence just to tell me something I already knew. But I don't care how good a woman is. If she's going to cause problems for my family, she is gone. I'd rather be alone than to have to deal with that. Motion in your front yard. That's Dad and Amy, and that was the push notification, which is what I love about these cameras. So when I bring them up on my screen on my phone, I can actually see them getting in the truck. And sure enough, they're getting in the truck. So, yep. So we're down to the final 10 minutes of the Sunday video update. And I want to end it on a good note. Okay. I don't want to be negative. I started it. I mean, it wasn't negative, but it wasn't great either. I want to end this week on a positive note. I'm back home. Things are starting to turn around for the better. Things are starting to come into play again. They're starting to come into focus again. I'm happy to be home. I'm grateful for the love and support I've been shown. The people who couldn't find they couldn't find it in themselves to reciprocate the love that I show them is just not my problem. I have to put up boundaries. Putting up boundaries doesn't mean that I am hateful or spiteful in any way, but enough is enough. I run myself ragged trying to help other people. I'm doing everything I can to help other people. I put my own personal needs and wants to the side sometimes, not always, but sometimes. I don't mind helping people. I love helping people. It's probably one of the greater joys of my life to do something for someone and to make them smile. And there are people of which are happy. Their faces light up just because my presence is there. I don't even get that with my own relatives. I don't get that with a lot of my cousins, especially on my dad's side. They see me and then the whispers start. Fuck you. I have people. I have friends who I consider more family than my actual family. They love having me around. They love me for me. They accept me for me, flaws and all. It's got nothing to do with politics. It's got nothing to do with religion. It's got nothing to do with anything. The fact that I am there and that I can make people laugh, I make people feel loved, I make people feel wanted and important and appreciated. That's who I am, and I'm not changing. We live in very paranoid times, as evidenced by the cameras on my house. I'm not paranoid, but I've reached a point where I can't trust people. I never thought I would ever have to go the route of not being able to trust people. But there's too many people out there who've ruined that for me. I don't mind, putting the cameras on my house. I don't mind spending a little bit of money to have a decent surveillance system on my house so that way I can keep tabs on my property and my home at all times. Now, I can sound like a prick most of the time, but it's because I've had to set up boundaries and I have to be stern. I put my foot down with a lot of people. I'm not going to be disrespected. I'm not going to be lied to. I'm not going to be lied about. I'm not going to be used as an opportunity. I have actual people in the world who love and care about me. My presence alone just makes their day better. I have that effect on people, whether it be just friends from town or from the childhood cancer world. I have people who love having me around, and I love being around them because they make me feel complete. They make me feel whole, much like my buddy Reese, who just texted me during the broadcast. I love Reese, and I love his mom. I love Lily. I love his family. There's a lot of people, a lot of friends that I truly love and care about. They are the heartbeat of me. All the little cancer warriors out there, boys and girls, they are the heartbeat of Jer Bear. They are the heartbeat of why I continue to do what I do. I'm not perfect. I'm no one special. I'm just there. I share my story. I give people hope. I do what I got to do to make the kids happy and to know that they're not alone in their struggles, that someone understands. I'm doing everything I can to try to make this world a little better. And by the time I die, I hope I leave it better than I found it. I think that's what we all want. But, I'm not perfect. I can't be everything to everybody. I made a video not too long ago about women making piss poor decisions on who they choose to sleep with. I would like to find somebody to fall in love with and maybe perhaps settle down and raise a family. I don't see it happening. I'm going to be 40 in a couple years. I don't see it happening, but it would be nice to hold on to that. But in the meantime, in the interim, I'm enjoying the single life. Drama free, less expensive. I'm enjoying it. I've learned how to enjoy being single, and I can also find joy in being with somebody too. So either way is a win-win for me. But anyway, guys, I'm doing better now that I'm home. And like I said, I'm trying to make this world a better place. I'm trying to, and I guess I don't like I am who I am, and whatever I do in my life, if it enriches other people or inspires other people, that's great. But it's when you say this is the kind of person I want to be. I don't know. It kind of makes it less what's the word I'm looking for? It makes it less it's like, okay, you put your blueprints out there, and instead of surprise, sometimes a building is just a building and how we build it. You're putting your blueprints out there, and now it's no surprise, that kind of thing. And yeah, I want to be someone who leaves the world better than I found it. But there's a lot of things that I also do that most people don't know about. And it's all positive things. It's all good stuff. But a lot of things can go without saying. They can go without being put in a spotlight. Doesn't need national attention. Sometimes you can just do things without the need or the desire to get the pat on the back. That's what we all want. We all seek approval. It's human nature. It's just what we want. But sometimes it gets so overblown and overbearing that those of us who are just here to do what we want to do, it gets overlooked. Now in September, I'm not going to post gold ribbons on Facebook, but I will talk about childhood cancer, my memories of my checkups, and I'll share stories, testimony from what my mom had told me. I'm going to reshare that on Facebook. I'm going to reintroduce it to Facebook. But I don't know anything about gold ribbons, to tell you the truth. I know more about childhood cancer. I know more about people. I know more about children than ribbons. And I will continue to do what I can to make the world a better place. And you make my life better. And you make coming to the Sunday video updates that much more special. So with that being said, we have reached the 4 o'clock hour. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jer Bear. Oh, I'll be back next week. I'll be back. And yes, I will stay out of trouble. You stay out of trouble too, and you go out there and you try to make the world a better place, because we need it now more than ever. I don't care what your political views are. let's just all try to be human with each other first. So I love y'all, and I'll see you next week. Same bear time, same bear channel. And just remember to, just be good to each other. We've got an election coming up. Biden dropped out, but, Trump is still running strong, and Kamala Harris is his runner-up. For once, let's not make it about politics. Make it about being a human being, always. And I'll see you next week. Take care.